after service. All right. Give it up for our winner. They did so good.
Way to
They did
go.
so good.
Way to go.
Well, you know what? You know what, Becky?
What, Trevor?
I love being here with all these great people. It's like we're like
As
one.
do I.
We're like one big family.
As do I.
And you know what families have, Becky?
Hugs.
Yes.
Warm hugs.
That's not what I was going for. I was going to say even more fun. House rules.
Oh,
We have house rules.
rules.
If you weren't here last week, we have a couple rules we'd love for you to follow just to make sure everyone has a great, safe experience. Rule number 1, putting you on the spot. What is it, Becky?
Rule number 1 is going to be, I'm going to say that you should keep your mask on while you're sitting in the auditorium.
Yes.
Unless, of course, you are taking communion or having a sip of your coffee.
Or,
How about
one third addendum, if your mask catches on fire, you can take it off,
Take it
but
off.
put your shirt over your nose and run out
Stomp
the
it.
building, after you extinguish the fire. That's rule number 2. Rule number 3 is this. Just enjoy your time. That's it. Keep your hands
like
to
that
yourself.
one.
Don't go touch other people. Have a good time. That's our rule.
I'm not going to do it.
Yes.
I'm going to refrain.
That's
There
it.
we go. We got
That's
all the
we
rules.
have.
You guys good with that?
You know what else
would.
I
knew you
love
would be
about
Madison.
families,
Thank
Becky?
You. Thank you so much.
You know
What
what
about
else?
our families?
What I love about families, the other thing.
What do you love about them?
Is that we're not all perfect. In fact, some of us are pretty awkward. A lot of times we have awkward family
gonna go with
photos.
most of us.
That's one of the things we asked for
Are
last
super
week.
awkward.
We said, hey, families, send in your awkward family photos. We
Send
want to
them
see
to
them.
us.
The best one's going to win a free photo session with my sister-in-law, Miss Missy.
Sister-in-law,
And it's going to be
Missy.
awesome. That's like a $70 value for free, which is great. And
I know.
if you're a kid, you win Redbox gift cards. You win candy. You win just a good movie night is essentially
right.
what you win.
Because
So-
we know kids don't really want to go get their pictures taken, so we're going to give them something else to look
Yes.
forward to.
And
in
we
this.
polled 100 people and asked
We
which
did.
one of these photos
surveyed.
is the most awkward. And here's what we came
Surprise,
up
it wasn't me.
with. Look at that.
Look
Isn't
at
that awesome?
that is
The Niedermans.
majesty right
If
there.
you're in here right now, I don't see you. Talk to us after service. You guys win. We're so
Are you
proud of
here?
Look how awkward that
I'm
is.
curious to know if
Little
they're here.
Napoleon Dynamite.
There they are.
They're
They're
over there.
here.
Awesome.
You guys are the big winners. Congrats.
Talk to Becky after service. She'll be out at the tent.
Yes, I'll be out at the tent after service. Actually,
Yes.
do you know why I'll be out at the tent after
I
service,
do
Trev?
know why you're going to be at the tent after
So
service.
I'm going to be at guest relations after service, along probably with Trevor, because we know that in this room there are a lot of brand new 6th graders. Anybody a new 6th grader in the room this morning?
Oh, look
if
at
you
that
are
front
a brand
row.
new 6th grader, woo! We love you.
Yes.
Next Gen is excited to have you in our ministry, and we have a special prize just for you 6th graders for being here today. So don't forget to meet me at the tent afterwards, because I would love to say hi to you guys, because
Yes.
we're so excited to have you in
Yes.
middle school ministry.
Which is so great. And here's the thing. We are all about having fun here in Next Gen Ministry.
This
if you're
is
in 6th
true.
grade and you didn't know that by now, now you do. You can never say that
Now
you
you
don't
do.
know that now. We are going to be playing a game right now. So what we need is one parent and their kid to volunteer to play a game. So I need to see
Look
2
how
hands in the
fast
air. I see 1 hand in the air over there. Oh, I think
She's like, please, please, please.
I saw one over here too.
I know, we've got so
Should
many.
we make them stand up and play rock, paper, scissors
Yes!
for it? All right,
Yes,
the
we
daughters.
should.
Daughters stand up, turn at each other. Here you go, you ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, here we go. This family up
the
here. You guys
winners.
come up on the stage.
Come on now.
Give it up
You're
for
the
our
next
winners. I'm
contestant
sorry.
on
Madison,
whatever
maybe next
this
year.
game is.
All right, so here's what you guys get to do. This is going to be
You
great.
guys can hang out right here, center
Yeah.
stage.
So what's going to happen is
Should we
if
find
you
out
look
who they
behind
are?
you, you'll see that we have these canvases set up with these giant poles that are exactly 6 feet long-ish, and they have a marker at the end. What we're going to do is give
6
you guys
feet.
a prompt of something you need to draw. So you'll be at that canvas. You're going to be at this canvas. We'll give you
I will
20
hand
seconds.
it to you from a social distance.
Yes.
But you'll have to uncap it yourself, or else you won't be actually drawing anything.
We got a lot of rounds, and we're going to have you guys, the audience, vote on who did the best each time. Super simple. But make sure you hold at the very end of the thing.
That's
so
right.
You
You
can,
wouldn't want to get too close to me.
Yes.
Make
All
sure you
right.
keep your distance from me. Can we find out what their names are, Trev? What's your
We
name?
sure can.
What's your name? Alicia. Give it up for Alicia, everyone.
And give it up for Becky. 2 Beckys on
Team
the stage.
Becky!
Yes.
But I'm also Team Alicia, so don't worry.
All right. So this is what I can't think of any artists now. I wanted to say Mozart,
All
but
the
that's not
artists
right.
have done this. Salvador Dali has
Yes.
done this.
Picasso.
Pablo Picasso started
This
out like
is his
this.
method. Yes. So
everyone knows that. Take art history.
We're going to give you guys 20-ish seconds each round. Throw the first thing up. They have to draw a football helmet and go. Start.
Ready, go. Feel free to try this at home using a broomstick and a Sharpie of your very own. It's very easy, as you can tell, when you are drawing a giant
No, it says football helmet.
So far, this is really good, actually. I like it.
And stop.
I would feel very protected if I wore this on my head.
So let's show what we have over here.
And in this corner.
So that's pretty good.
Look at that. We got the face shield, concussion protection right here.
Now what about Becky's thing? Let's show her thing.
It looks more like a jockey hat.
If you think Becky had the best drawing, go ahead, just give a round of applause. Okay, I think I see what's coming.
Claps.
What about the other one? What do we got? Yeah.
Round one.
Yeah. All right, so that was good. So now you got a feel for it. Next time, draw what the prompt is. And
next time,
you're going to do a lot better, get a lot more applause.
As if you could do any better, Trevor.
All right, here we go. Jack-o'-lantern, start. She got a little bit of head start. She's like, all right, let's go.
Very similar shaping to start with. Ooh, look at that. It's very nice. Oh,
okay.
Man.
That's a hand.
Alicia, are you in a gifted art class? Because you are quite
Do you know what a jack-o'-lantern is, by chance?
She is amazing.
Okay.
Wait.
Oh, man. That's pretty good. This is a good hand.
It's a turkey. It's a Thanksgiving turkey.
All right. So if you think Becky did the best, give a little of a round of applause.
Oh, yes! She's got fans!
A little bit of support.
And Alicia? Yes,
I'm sensing a theme.
Love
a theme. We're 2-0 right now.
Right, in case you're having a hard time with math.
Becky, I want to believe. I want to believe. All right, show the next one. What are we drawing?
I believe in you, Becky.
A pile of leaves.
Of the world proud.
It's the fall theme. A pile of leaves is very easy to draw.
This one. She might. Whoa.
All right, so we're starting off.
Pile of leaves.
Very well.
Looking very much like Santa's bag. How much more time do they have, Trev?
I think we're stopping here.
I don't
think Becky's going to get any better over here. All right, can we get a zoom in on Becky's for a second? This is important.
Zoom in.
So, Becky, scoot to the right, just one.
Scooch over this way towards me a little bit. There you go.
That's,
now we can see.
That is a bunch
of... It's a pile of leaves.
I'm pretty sure that my niece has the same picture on the refrigerator at home. That's pretty
like fall
good.
Leaves to me.
If you think this is the better pile of leaves, let me hear it.
I'm going for it. Sorry,
okay, that's fair.
Woo! And over here we have potentially a bag of leaves in the process of being raked. That's what I'm going for. And who votes for Alicia's picture over here?
Okay.
You do have some fans, but I think
Becky
it goes
won.
to Becky.
Becky won a point. I'm so proud.
She's closing the gap.
All right, 2-1.
Don't you cap that marker. We've got more,
we've got
girl.
more, Becky. We've got so much more.
Don't you be capping that marker on us.
All right.
Ready
Good news,
this?
Becky. We've got 2 left, so you have a chance to win.
Oh, I think you
but
just
you
drew
got to draw a bowl of chili and go.
You know what, Trev? I actually had Skyline chili for the first time ever this week.
You know how I know that? I was with you. Thanks for remembering.
Skyline
it was delicious.
Chili. Skyline chili, for the record, tastes like Christmas cookies. It's very weird.
I mean, no. That's not true. What Christmas cookies?
Lisa's like, what is wrong with you, Becky? This looks very good.
You know what? I'm impressed. Becky,
Time must be
everyone in the audience has seen you grow significantly in your journey of drawing.
She is growing as an artist.
I think we have an artist in the making right now in front of us. Show me Becky's drawing up close, just for our families out there. That's pretty good. Let's give it up for Becky if you think she's the best.
Chili. And Alicia's work. Could be chili, could be a pot pie.
That's tough. Real quick, one last time for Becky.
For Alicia? Ooh, gosh.
You know what? For the
like
sake of 2 versus 2, and we have one more for the win, I think that's a Becky. That's a Becky point.
Becky! Woo.
2-2.
This is how we do it.
Guess what? This is the last one.
Final round. sound.
Someone wearing Uggs and holding a pumpkin spice latte.
There you go.
You have a little bit longer
at
to
it.
draw this, and go.
Have at it.
It's literally my favorite thing about fall.
Really hard.
Standing outside of a Starbucks with my Uggs on.
With your Uggs on. Do you
It's like,
actually own Uggs, Trevor?
Yes. And it's like standing
Well, color
on
me
the grass.
surprised.
It's so comfy. Oh,
I
man.
do not own Uggs because
So
I'm not
far-
rocking that look as a 47-year-old woman. It's weird.
This is pretty good. I'm very
I am
impressed with both of them.
That is a large pumpkin spice latte. This is the venti. Very nice. Ooh, they're very fluffy looking.
She said one giant shoe. And okay, let's
Time's up.
let's stop. All right, this is for all. You guys have to vote honestly. You can't cheer for both because that's not how games work. Okay.
That's right.
Show me Becky's up close. Let's see.
Let's see it.
So there's a person there. There's
Yes.
a cup with a little bit of steam. That pumpkin
I
spices
don't
are
know.
hot.
That person doesn't have a face.
This is maybe
Just
the
gonna
only
mention.
thing that they did slightly wrong. They did the Jesus fish, which I appreciate, showing the Christian
Everyone knows
heritage.
Uggs are Jesus shoes.
But I
thought that was
one
Chacos.
giant foot on the other side. That's pretty good. What about
All right.
Alicia's?
And what we've got going on over here, look, this person is clearly very happy that she's got her venti pumpkin spice with her very furry Uggs on. I mean, come on. It does not get any better than this work that Alicia has done right here. Am I right? Let's put it to a vote, Trev.
All right, you've seen her grow in the last 10 minutes, more than you ever thought you could. Give it up if you think Becky did the best. Applaud for Becky.
Oh,
no.
Things are looking
Oh, no.
very good for you, Alicia. I don't know. And if you think the winner is, very obviously, hands down, Alicia. Woo!
I think we have a winner. Alicia wins.
you will
Everyone
not
give
go
it
home
up for
empty-handed.
Becky and
I'm gonna
Alicia.
put
They
this
did
right
so
here so you
good.
can take it with you. Go ahead and grab that.
And they had fun in a
Contact-free.
socially distanced, safe way from their painting.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys are the
Yes.
best. Thank you for being such good sports and having so much fun with
Yes.
us. And thank you guys for playing along.
Yes. Well, you know what else?
Oh,
That's also fun, but there's other things that are fun as well.
So many other things.
And you
that
heard
are
us
good.
talk about it last week, and it's because we believe that small groups they're not only fun, but they are the best way to engage in our ministry. If you're a sixth grader in this room and you're not in a small group, we'd love to see you there. There are small groups that are specifically for your age
Look
and
at all these
your
groups.
gender. Yeah, these are some groups. This is middle
You
school.
guys, if you're not in a group, you're missing out on all this fun, all
Yes.
this excitement, all these wonderful people.
A little collage,
If you
will.
look really close, a lot of them are, in fact, Tyler McKenzie.
If you look
a lot
even
of them.
closer, it looks like someone is a dog participating in the group. On the bottom left.
Someone is, in fact, a dog. You guys, we love our small groups. Our small groups are going on virtually every Wednesday night. Not virtually every Wednesday, but virtually on a screen every Wednesday night.
Yes, and you can sign up for them right now if you're not signed up. We put a QR
We're
code
going
up
to throw
here.
a code on up there.
You can just take your phone out, go to the photos
Point your phone at it.
photo app, and go ahead and scan it, and it'll take you directly to a link that will let you sign up for groups. So go ahead and get your phones out if you
right
need to.
now.
I'm going to
Do
move
it.
this canvas. There we go. That's
Oh,
perfect.
there we go.
go.
That's so
perfect.
much better.
We
That
got
is
a
so
couple
much
people
better.
doing that. We'll let you have just the time to do it, to sign up for groups. It's going to be awesome.
Get yourself signed up. We want to see all of you guys in a group.
Yes.
Groups are so, so important. We're never going to not say that because groups are so very important to help you guys make connections and to have some fabulous adult leaders really love on you guys and pour into you and walk through life with you. Speaking of adult leaders, Trev.
Yeah, we actually have a
gonna-
video for you guys to check out right now, so direct your attention to the screen. Check this out.
If you're watching this and you're one of our youth leaders, we hope you know that you are literally the best. You're the secret stuff that makes MSM and HSM special, and you're the reason our ministry works. Groups are the bread and butter of our ministry, and we can only pull them off with your help. Your presence gives our students a chance to share what God is doing in their lives and figure out how to be a light in the world. But here's the catch. We need more of you. As our students invite their friends, our ministry grows, but so does our need for small group leaders. So we need you to invite your friends to lead groups. Send your friends our way so they can not only see all the amazing things that God can do through them, but they get to experience the amazingness of groups and camps and trips that are life-changing. We're in this together, so let's team up so we can love the Ville.
Guess what? If you're an adult in this room and you are one of our small group leaders, we love you. Lots of you guys are here this morning, and we are so, so glad that you're a part of our team. Also, if you're an adult in this room and you're not one of our small group leaders, you are capable of being one. It doesn't take anybody special or superhuman. It just takes somebody that loves students and is willing to walk with Jesus alongside of them in their lives. Super easy. We would love to have you or any of your friends join our team to love on these amazing kids because we can't do it alone, so we need you guys. One of the things that we love most in our ministry is seeing when a student gives their lives to Jesus. And as a leader, you get to speak into that a lot and help those students make those decisions. This morning, we are so excited to celebrate a decision to follow Jesus through baptism. Let's check this out.
Good morning, I'm Ross Lagerblade, and this is my son, Rex. And we're really excited to be here today. I just want you to know, Rex, how very proud I am of you. Your spark, that first light actually started in youth group. I know that you've all been talking about here in this church. And it became an ember, and we watched you kind of pursue the Bible, pursue learning more about faith, pursue learning more about Jesus on your own. And you did a lot of that in a very mature way, and that makes us very proud. And another thing that I really want you to know is that fire that burned inside of you also brought mom and dad and the rest of the family back to church. So you had an impact on us. And now we get to continue our journey as well, and that's really important. So I kind of think about, that ember that started and it became a spark, and today it becomes a really bright light. And I just want you to know that, someday you're going to see it on a plaque in someone's living room or a framed picture, but there's a little saying that I kind of think about here, which is that bright light that's shining, it isn't for people to see you, it's for people to see Jesus through you, through your words and through your actions, through your relationships. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ready to do this?
Yes.
All right. Please repeat after me. I believe
I believe
that Jesus is the Christ,
that Jesus is the Christ,
the Son of the living God,
the Son of the living God,
and I take him
as
my Lord and Savior.
as my Lord and Savior.
Upon that good confession, I now baptize you in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Oh, man. I love that. Can we do one more round of applause for Rex? That's amazing. Yes. Yes. Well, what is going on, Lit Fams? I'm not going to lie. This past week, we received so many photos of you guys in the most awkward poses as possible. And I love that kind of thing because my family is awkward just like you all. We're in week 2 of this series called Lit Fam, and Becky walked us through in week 1 what it looks like to follow the Spirit through the fruit of the Spirit. She challenged us to take on one of those fruits of the Spirit, and my question for you is, how did it go? Were you guys able to practice that? No? Students, what about you? Were you guys able to practice self-control? And maybe like self-control when playing Call of Duty Warzone, when you were just getting obliterated? No? What about kindness towards one of your siblings when they were trying to steal the remote from you to watch their favorite cartoon? Not quite. Parents, what about you guys? It's not just for the students. Were you guys able to show gentleness and joy when you asked your student or your child to take the trash out the 10th time? Not so much, right? Well, this week, I want to bring about the idea of how we're called to be light, not just in the house, but how we're called to be light in the community. How we're called to be light outside in the community has to be a priority. And if it stays in the house, I think we're falling short of what God calls us to do. But before we jump into that, I don't want to overlook what season we're in right now, because it happens to be one of my favorite. It's fall, right? So that means that I'm personally not sweating every time I walk outside. That's a big one. Yep, nobody wants that. It means that there's pumpkin-flavored everything. Is anybody a pumpkin-flavored fan? Okay, there's a couple in here. I think it's kind of disgusting, but that's not my opinion to have for you. There's the obligatory best friend throwing leaves in the air while you take a selfie, girls. That's everybody's favorite. It's going to be flooding everybody's feed here in a few. Look out. Spontaneous bonfires in the backyard. And I don't know if you guys remember how to do this, but could I get a drum roll, please? Okay, perfect. COVID didn't kill that. The most important thing about the fall is football. Yes. We are back, the third week of the NFL. Both U of L and UK lost yesterday. It sounds very familiar, and it's just good to be back. I'm not going to lie. Football and fall go hand in hand. There is something that shouts fall when I hear guys smacking each other on the TV, and I love it. It makes me literally want to grunt like Tim the Toolman Taylor, but don't worry. I will resist and not tempt you with that awful noise. You know what I love most about football, though? I feel like you can't get it in any other sport. It's the communication that is happening, this play calling that's taking place in a huddle. Again, don't get me wrong, those hard hits just make me want to grunt like Tim the Toolman Taylor. But the play calling is so exotic, so crazy, and I love that when everything is going, it's executed perfectly. In my opinion, again, there is no other sport that's like that. It requires this amount of intense communication, play after play, but not only does it require communication, it requires constant understanding of what's happening. Check this video out.
You could do a trade to blue right, F short, fake fox 3-week, QB keep pass right, fullback drag slide.
Axe, double right spirit Larry, 735H pump, double cadence on 2.
Green left west, U shift. F short, spider 2, U banana C over.
It's like a foreign language. You're calling out the personnel, you're calling out the shift, the motion, the protection, and then actually the pass routes.
What play is this? Brown right, pistol. What do you say? 59 laser.
Everything means something. Everything in our offense, it came from somewhere. Maybe it's a term that was used 40 years ago.
29 FB Grace.
Maybe it was a term that
Omaha, steak, zebra, wheel 49, said hike. Clearly, communication is this big piece in football. It's like speaking a foreign language. But again, it takes understanding that foreign language being spoke for things to be set in motion and the intended result of a hopeful touchdown or a blocked field goal. See, in other words, you have to communicate the plan, but more importantly, everybody has to understand what that plan is. In football, all of this communication is taking place. In 40 seconds or less, you've got crowds, or at least pre-COVID crowds, of people yelling on every direction. Distractions all around the huddle for 11 guys and their coach to get on the same page to execute that play. Have you ever been in a position like that? I would expect most of you shake your head, at least in a football huddle, but for some of you, it sounds a little bit more relevant if I were to describe it like this. Mom and dad, for you, it's rallying your team at work, right? You're trying to get them on the same page for this upcoming project that your boss has handed down to you. You're excited about this, but you have a Karen or a Kevin that just cannot comprehend what you're asking them to do. And so the project becomes delayed, and you have to report that to your boss, and you're shaking in your boots. Or maybe, mom and dad, it's a family meeting that you're calling. You start communicating this family-wide change that is starting now. No food in the bedrooms anymore because I keep finding dishes on your dresser. Or a new family-wide curfew, everybody's favorite word. And for some of the students in the room, all you hear when they're talking about this in that meeting is blah, 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 blah. It's frustrating, right, parents? I don't know what it is, but for students, it might be this idea of having this awesome party down in the basement. You've got this sleepover, all your friends are over there. You keep getting texts, your phone is blowing up. Dad is saying, I am coming down there to tell you to be quiet if you do not get them to be quiet. It's already into the wee hours of the night. You tell your friends, nobody's listening, and it's too late, Dad's down there, and they're either getting sent home or they're going to bed immediately with lights off. Or maybe it's that teacher that is trying to use hip language, students, to give you your homework, and they say stuff like, hey, I can't wait to see your Gucci homework, and I hope it's lit, and I get to see you spill the tea on that modern-day goat. The worst. I know the parents chuckled, and you guys were like scoffing at me, and that's okay. But it's literally the worst. We get lost in communication sometimes, and it's frustrating when it happens, when we think we're communicating clearly, but they just don't get it. Here's the crazy thing, though. I don't feel like the language that's being spoke in that football video that you just watched was too far off from what we experience on a daily basis, just like the disciples faced in Jesus' parables, as well as when he said that he would die and resurrect. You see, Jesus told his disciples that he would ultimately die at the hands and be rejected by the leaders, the elders, the chief priests, and teachers of the law. And he promised crazy enough that he would return from the dead 3 days later. I can only imagine the faces on those disciples in that moment. Parents, it's probably a lot of the looks you get from your kids. They look at you like you're just crazy. You've got 3 heads, 10 eyeballs, and it doesn't make sense. But see, Mary Magdalene was there when Jesus came. She witnessed him in the flesh and she was instructed to go and tell the disciples of his return and his soon return to the Father. As the disciples were met by Mary, they cast her off as crazy. They brushed it off as nonsense. But luckily, that's not where we stop today. John 20, 19 through 21 goes on to say, on the evening of the first day of the week, when the disciples were together with the doors locked for fear of the Jewish leaders, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." After he said this, he showed them his hands and his side. The disciples were overjoyed when they saw the Lord. Again, Jesus said, "Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I am sending you." You see, while the disciples are hiding in the upper room and the promise is being fulfilled over the weekend, Jesus appears because they were in doubt. Instead of rejoicing in the streets of the promise that Jesus was to fulfill, proclaiming to everybody they were in contact with that Jesus is Lord, believing what Mary had just told them about the resurrection, they were hiding in the upper room. They were hiding in fear of what others would think of them and fear of being killed for their faith and belief in Jesus as Lord. You know what's crazy to me is I think that Jesus would have to have known that this was going to happen. He probably had to feel a little bit disappointed. Man, do I really need to go into the upper room to let them know that they are called to do something more? But he did it anyways. He showed up, he showed his scars and said, "It is me in the flesh." But he doesn't stop there. He says, "You are called to go. As the Father has sent me, I am sending you." What exactly is he sending them to do? Well, I'm glad that you asked, but before I shed light on that, I want you to understand the simple truth. In the simplest form, Jesus' discipleship model and his mission can be done in 4 easy steps. You see, his whole mission and discipleship model starts with this. It says, "Hey, come follow me. Hey, come follow me. Drop what you're doing right now. Come and follow me." And it's preceded by this: "Hey, watch what I do. Watch what I do as I perform this miracle, as I pastor these lost sheep. Watch what I do, disciples." And he says, "Hey, do what I just did. Do what I do while I watch you do it now." Throughout the New Testament, he is shepherding these disciples to make decisions to follow him, but not only follow him, but to replicate him. And it's this 4th and final ask that I think that he has that we fall short of. He says, "And do what I did when I'm gone." Again, it's that last piece that the disciples, much like us, are faced with in our relationship with Jesus. Jesus communicates so clearly throughout the New Testament, through the Bible, that we are to go and do, not to just stay and consume. But I think we fail when it comes to this. I think we fail in understanding that we are called to do more. More often than not, if I'm assuming correctly, we find ourselves locked up in the upper room, afraid of what others will think of us and afraid of what we're supposed to and are called to tell people. But Jesus explicitly says, "Go, make disciples of every nation, baptizing them in my name and teaching them of the laws that I've commanded you to obey." You see, the Great Commission and his discipleship model were built on replication, and they cease to exist when we don't shine the light outside of our home. That's why today's message is so important. Jesus is calling this huddle an opportunity to say, "Hey, time out, disciples. I need to re-clarify what I've already told you to do because some of you don't understand." And that's what we're doing today. So time out. Let's huddle up. Let's hash out the play. Let's over-communicate right now how we are called to be light in the community. Matthew 5:14 says it this way: "You're the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to the Father who is in heaven." So my question for you is simple. How are you doing this as a family unit? How are you being the light in the community? Maybe it feels like your light has been stuck inside because of this crazy pandemic that we've been in. You might be saying, well, we used to do this or we used to do that, but a lot of those things don't happen anymore in the same capacity. COVID has really limited the way that I'm able to be the light. Or maybe you're saying, John, come on, this is like this second weekend back in church. Give us a break. We had to be at the lake this summer. I totally understand that way of thinking. I find myself trapped in the upper room too. And I totally understand and think that while this season has been limiting, it hasn't stopped us from doing this entirely. Take, for example, the lasting impact that Northeast, because of our congregation, believing in our mission, made this difference in the community. 38,000 snack packs were delivered to schools and community centers throughout our community. But where have you shined your light since? Providing resources, encouraging notes, and gift cards to teachers at Chansey Elementary. Reimagining our school blitz day, blessing teachers throughout Jefferson and Oldham County. But again, my question for you is, where have you shined your light since? That list, it goes on and on and on again, but I'm curious, as a family, what are you doing to be the light in the community? How are you upholding that call to action, that great commission that we are all to be on? For putting what Jesus clearly communicated to his disciples and what he calls us to do ourselves. See, if you're struggling to figure out, where do I start? What do I even do? Look no further. I think, including myself, we can choose one of these 4 options today to start being light in our community. The first one is to start by being the light on social media. I start here because there is literally nothing stopping you today from being the light on your social media platform. Now, 6th graders, 7th graders, if you don't have social media, I'm not telling you to go beg your parents for a social media platform, like right this instance. But what I am asking is for a family unit to have the conversation on how you can be the light through your social media. You might not get as many likes for posting a prayer that you have for our city or for the current elected officials instead of bashing them. You might not get as many likes for praying for those who are hurting in our community right now instead of taking a side for LMPD or for Brianna. You have a platform and a voice that you can start today through social media. Regardless of your age, your words have an impact. But here's the kicker: being the light, again, much like staying in the home, cannot stay in a digital presence because we are called to go. A physical call to action. And the second one, third one, and fourth one all have a physical piece to them. The second being this, is to get to know your neighbors. Get to know your neighbors. I'm not gonna make you raise your hands because I don't wanna be embarrassed by it, but do you know everybody in your neighborhood that is in front of you, behind you, to either side, and catty-cornered in either direction? I know that I don't. And this is where I think, for me, I need to stretch myself, that I don't fall into the trap of driving home after my 9 to 5 and shutting the garage door behind me. To truly invest in my community and my neighbors, both literally and figuratively speaking. Again, by that literal sense, do you know the people that live in front of you, behind you, either side, and catty-cornered? Figuratively, what I'm talking about here is breaking down the barriers of what it looks like to be a part of just the East End, just the South Side, just the West End, just Portland, just Fern Creek, just Dixie Highway. We are a part of the greater Louisville Metro, and when we begin to understand that our neighbors stretch beyond the Paddock Shopping Center, I think we can begin to love and show Jesus in the light that we are called to. Here's the thing, again, I don't think that it stops in that way, though. I think we are called, thirdly, to serve the community in the church. I know that we've began to slowly reopen, and a lot of the volunteer positions that we once had aren't here yet. But hear me on this. There will be a call to action where we need people like you to say yes. Sign me up. Sign me up to be in a room with students to lead their small group. Sign me up in a room to teach the kindergartners, as crazy as it might be some weekends. We are called to serve the community and for people the first time they hear about Jesus through the church. To love the Ville, not just out there, but in here as well. The fourth one is one that, again, I want to stretch myself in. It's to give to a specific ministry. When you're unable to love the Ville or to serve in a physical capacity because of personal limitations or maybe because of a pandemic, give generously to those who are advancing the kingdom and being the light in the community at large. I'm not saying to stop tithing, because if I did say that, I think Tyler would come tackle me on the stage right now. But what I am asking you to do is to pray about how you can be more generous with the money that you have. What I'm saying is that you have the opportunity to pour into other people when you feel that you are physically limited in doing so. You are monetarily able to support somebody in the business that they run, in the ministry that they operate, in tandem with what we do here at the Love the Ville Church. If you're trying to figure out where that is to get started or what that looks like, I even have 4 examples for you right now that you can take a screenshot of to learn more about. If you want to serve the West End, I've got an amazing ministry called Hand in Hand Ministry that our high school students have partnered alongside, where we've worked on building a new ramp for somebody who was wheelchair bound, who couldn't get out of their house unless they slung themselves through the grass. The Portland Promise Center is a center of hope, honestly, for that community, to love and give basic essential needs to those who are looking. If you want to partner with those who are serving the least of these in our population, Scarlet Hope, who partners in the adult industry to help get women out of that industry. Or Up for women and children. It's an amazing place where women who are homeless, who have children, can come and find solace and community with others, but also hope in getting out of being stuck there. We are called to be the light outside of our home and in our community. And I'm going to invite a student to come share her story on the stage. And as I do that, would you guys just give her a round welcome of applause? Would you go ahead and just introduce yourself? What's your name, grade, and school?
My name is Claire, and I'm a senior at South this year.
You guys give it up for Claire again. That's awesome. Claire, I have, honestly, just a simple question for you to help inspire some of the students and the parents in here. How are you being the light in the community?
Well, right now, I think it's just super important to make being a light a priority. I know that many people, especially kids in my age group, are struggling to continue with that connection to their faith. And we just long for a sense of community, and we haven't been able to have that for a long time. So whenever I had the opportunity to bring people together, I wanted to do that. And so I ended up hosting a watch party for camp at my house this year. We had to keep it safe and small, but it was so inspiring to see how many people that wanted to be there. And I think that it's just because people were longing for something more. And especially, it was surprising because it's supposed to be at the beach, and it was at my backyard, and people still wanted to be there. And it was really crazy to watch, and I'm just so happy that I had the opportunity to provide a sense of normalcy to my friends. And another thing that's super important to me is my field hockey team. We've had a lot of disappointments over the last 6 months, and I really just wanted this year just for them to have fun and remember who they're playing for. So whenever I notice someone who is having a hard day or getting frustrated, I simply like to remind them that they're loved, they're worthy, and that none of that matters. Sometimes it's hard to figure out ways to be a light on my team because I'm not always sure what they believe or if they'll respect my beliefs. But one thing that I have noticed is that if I'm just kind or just keep up a positive attitude, I can make more of a difference than I know.
I love that, Claire. Yeah, give it up. One of the other unique things that I think that you've done so well and can be an inspiration to people in the audience as well is you're a part of a small group. And like you have other 12th grade ladies that are in that group that help inspire and help hold you accountable to being the light. What would you say to anybody in the audience right now that isn't a part of a group?
The girls in my small group are my best friends. Through everything, since 6th grade all the way to my senior year, they've been there for me, and through all of my endeavors, through my faith, and I would just say that that's the best way to be involved in church. If you're longing for a relationship with God, that's where you need to be, and I think that you can make some of your best friends there.
I love it. Guys, I want to leave you off with one more verse about being the light and what we're called to be. And as we do that, Claire's going to set us up to be in communion. Ephesians 5:8 says this, "For at one time you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light."
As we prepare to take communion, and as you listen to the song, I challenge you to just remember the sacrifice that God made for us, the ultimate sacrifice. And this is good news. So be bold in your faith each and every day.
I'm seeing now with new eyes for the first time, for the first time. Deliverance is calling, and it sounds like singing for the first time. Oh, sweet redemption, the heart of heaven, it's setting all things right, it's setting all things right. Oh, sweet redemption, oh, how it beckons, it whispers to the night, step into the light. Step into the light. The darkness can't survive the fire in his eyes. So step into the light. Step into the light. You were never meant to hide. You were made to be alive. So step into the light. My shame, it won't enslave me, and it doesn't own me. For the first time, I finally found my healing, and it feels like breathing. For the first time, oh, sweet redemption, the heart of heaven, it's setting all things right, it's setting all things right. Oh, sweet redemption, oh, how it beckons, it whispers to the night, step into the light. Step into the light. The darkness can't survive the fire in his eyes. Step into the light. Step into the light. You were never meant to hide. You were made to be alive. So step into the light. Let's take the bread that represents the body broken for us. Let's take the juice that represents the blood shed for us. Let's pray. God, I thank you so much that what you call us to is good. It's inherently good. It's not necessarily easy, but it is good. And I pray that all the families in this room, all the families that are listening online, all the people who came by themselves, that we take action and that we step into your path, your way that you've led us to. And I pray that that brings other people to your feet. That's what it's about. Move us, God. Let us listen to you. We love you. We thank you so much for who you are. It's in your name we pray. Amen.